Please note, this is not a detailed instructional and is only meant to be a reference and a means for you to get ideas from. There are many variations to these sweeps that many grapplers do. These are just my personal variations for them. As with all of my reference videos, I have experience with hitting all of these techniques in either training or competition. With proper timing, grips, experience, and positioning, all of these sweeps are highly effective and work. You should always keep in your mind that no one technique is the best. It is the combination of techniques, along with proper setups, transitions, grips, and the knowledge of your opponent's next move, where you will then become multiple steps ahead of your opponent. The hip bump is a great sweep and great for setups. It's highly recommended that you learn all variations of the pendulum sweep, with and without the gi. The positional concept alone is very helpful. If you go for the scissor sweep and your opponent has a wide base, push his knee when you do it. If your opponent has a more narrow base, you can get away with doing the regular style scissor sweep. When your opponent stands, if you time it right, grab their ankles and push on their hip. The waiter sweep is also very effective when they stand up. And if you can't hit the waiter sweep, do a side roll and hit the star sweep. The hammer and the sickle sweep are one of the most effective fundamental sweeps that you can know in jiu-jitsu. And you'd be surprised how many times I actually hit this sweep. The basic butterfly sweep works even at the highest level. And if your opponent posts out, you can hit them with a rollback sweep. And if you catch your opponent leaning back, you can get your hands low and fold them right at the lower back. I hit the simple punch sweep a lot. And with the sitting guard, while my opponent is in combat base, I can hit the double shin sweep, and I can hit the single shin sweep as well. When they're standing in front of you, you can scoot forward, get their leg, you could feed their belt or the lapel down, and you can put your shin in front of their ankle as well. Feed their near side arm in between their legs, put your shin in front of their ankle, and then roll underneath them so you can get the sweep. And you can attack their far side sleeve, grab their collar, and tip them down. It's also easy to stand up in base and get a single leg takedown. By feeding their belt through, you can stand up and get a lot of leverage and get the takedown. And while it may look hard, one thing I do a lot when my opponent drives through with their leg is I spin underneath their one leg and then attack for a double. The De La Riva guard is a very effective open guard position where you can get a lot of sweeps and a lot of different attacks. Grab their far side sleeve and then tip them in that direction. Grab their near side sleeve, push them. When they push back, bring your knees in and do a back roll. And many people use the De La Riva so they can attack their opponent's back. And the Berimbolo is a highly effective sweep that's being used even at the black belt level. And one thing I've been doing is mixing in the lasso position with the Berimbolo so I can get an even more effective sweep. By shooting your legs through further to get the De La Riva X, it makes the De La Riva position much stronger. A sweep that I and my teammates have been hitting a lot is crossing the arms of my opponent and then hitting the sweep that way. And also if you attack the near side arm and you push your opponent out and back in, you can hit the rollback sweep. And by attacking their far arm and grabbing their collar, you can tip them down forward. The reverse De La Riva is very dynamic as well. You can use the spin under so you can attack your opponent's back. And lots of times when you do it, especially when your opponent is low in combat base, you can also use the spin under sweep from the inside to get a regular sweep as well. And I set up the shin sweep a lot from the reverse De La Riva. And if you get a Z-guard position on their leg and grab their sleeve and their collar and tip them, you can get the sweep that way. The X guard is an extremely effective position. It's very important when you get this position that you use it to off-balance your opponent. You can get the X guard from butterfly guard, butterfly half guard. I also like to get it from deep half guard, as well as the reverse De La Riva position and other positions along with that. The highest percentage X guard sweep in my opinion is the one where you extend them out with their leg on your shoulder and then kick their leg out and get the sweep that way. If they decide to sit in a squat, get your foot lower by their ankle and kick it out so you can sweep them backwards. And if you switch your hooks, lots of times you could extend their leg out and sweep them forward. If they post their hand on the mat when you do this, then you could take the opportunity to take your opponent's back. And while I'm not sure if it's legal in some tournaments, I like to make it like I'm going for a knee bar so I can bring my other leg over the back of their leg and get the sweep that way. And if you're able to grab their far side arm and grab their collar, you can tip them forward. The single leg X is a very simple and effective position. You could sweep them by extending your legs out and sitting up. You can also do the shin sweep as well. And similar to the shin sweep, you can also tip your legs towards their leg so you can get the sweep that way. The 50-50 position is a very tricky position for a lot of people. A flashy but effective way is to spin through to get the 50-50 position, so then that way you can get the sweep from there. And another very common situation where people get 50-50 sweeps is from the half guard position on the bottom. The spider guard sweep, where you let your leg pass by so you can get the sweep, is very common. And if you catch your opponent on their knees, you can hit the scissor spider guard sweep as well. You can also hit the sweep where you let your leg pass by with the lasso spider guard. And one of my favorite techniques is to switch my grip to the other hand, grab their pants, and then do a side roll so I can hit the sweep that way. Thank you for watching. If you would like me to make more videos, please share this video with all the grapplers around the world, and also please tell everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel.